Hello, and welcome to our 6th episode of Still Digging. So you have to bring up the other hand now. 6th episode of Still Digging.
Here.
5 more, and I won't be able to do my hands anymore. But we are here. Once again, Amma is doing real archaeology, and the rest of us are on the internet. And I think Sarah's camping.
I'm on the porch.
Well, it's dark, and
Nice out here.
I can hear the crickets out there. It sounds nice out there.
It is nice out here.
I
You
know.
can see my wattle. It's amazing.
So we're doing good
I'm
there.
still in my same library room.
So, we do our, always as we do in the beginning of every episode, are we sound checking with what we're streaming? Are we echoing?
Seems good
Can
still.
we be heard?
Never.
Have we, after 3 or 4 times of trying to do this, between this and rituals and rolls, are we beginning to get a hand of how to internet?
I mean, there's sound when I click on the sound button, so.
Yeah.
No echo. So okay, good. Let's roll right into this. So because we're this is Labor Day weekend. Oh, hello there.
Oh.
Aww.
Ah, it's soup.
So we're gonna roll in because here in the U.S. we have Labor Day weekend, which means a 3-day weekend, which means everyone tries to sneak out early on Fridays, unless you're archaeologists, in which case that's the day they're gonna make you drive 50 miles and go spend all day in the heat digging until about 5 o'clock at night. And don't worry.
I only got half a day tomorrow.
And don't worry, you can't call anybody because they're all the people in the office are gone.
Gone. Yeah.
That's a God's
Oh, do you
truth.
need help? I'm in the car. I can't. I'll let you know when I get where I'm going.
It's Labor Day weekend, man. Where are you? Digging holes.
I am not one of the office people yet, but I'm trying like hell.
I heard you like.
So with that, we're going to try to do our... I don't know if we have a format yet. Do we really have a format yet? There's like
No.
there's like an
You should probably
understanding.
come up with something.
I mean, the general idea is we seem to talk about archaeology stuff, pure archaeology stuff first. It bleeds
Yeah.
into sort of like archaeology, RPG type stuff, and by the end of it, we're just talking Dungeons and Dragons and whatever nonsense else.
Fair
we think
enough.
of. So any
My life is not.
real archaeology stuff to talk about?
Nothing I can talk about at work.
Oh God! Now they think I speak English. Now they think I speak Spanish. Oh,
Oh
Jesus.
no. I mean, you should learn.
I just said
Oh.
muchas gracias, which is like literally the extent of my Spanish.
Oh no, that reminds me. When this is done, I need to go do my Duolingo for the day. I got a 4-day streak going on right now. I started last
Oh.
week, so I
You
need.
should. I was doing that for a while. You should send me your thing so I can force myself back into it.
All right. So as to not do anything musical and get us copywritten struck off of here, YouTube. Context. Rules. Everything around me. Context. Cream. Get that money. Dollar bill.
What are you doing?
He's walking in a non-rhythmic pattern so the sandworms don't get him.
I'm trying not to sing the song so we don't get hit with a copyright strike.
That's what I said.
I don't know what song that is, so I guess you're doing a good job.
It would be protected under parody law, I think, or not under parody law.
I know,
but as a parody.
I only just changed one word. I don't know if that counts.
I don't think I know the song either. I know what you're talking about, but I don't think I know the song.
Wu-Tang
I'm
Clan.
long.
It's Wu-Tang Clan Cream. Cash
Money
rules
rules.
everything
Cash
around me.
rules. Gotcha.
And as we
I
all
actually
know,
got to see it perform live. It was amazing.
And as we all know,
Okay.
Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to F with. And for those viewers
Yeah.
out there who are too young,
Corey.
there is a documentary on Hulu right now about Wu-Tang. 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 So with that, how that all started is that a much cooler podcast than ours, The Dirt. Shout out to The Dirt.
Yeah, Dirt.
Put up a meme today, even though I think they were inspired by my meme. If you followed archaeoRPG on Twitter today or on our Instagram story for the day, I started trying to use some meme economy to try to get some viewerships, eyeballs here.
Cultural currency.
Meme economy, man. I'm hip with all the kids now.
That's fire.
I think you're scaring people.
Scaring people away. So they put a meme up talking about context, and it got me excited because as an archaeologist, I especially think context is absolutely for our serious archaeology. Context, I believe, is the absolute most important thing we do as sort of scientists, social scientists, fake historians, whatever you want to call us. We are
Fake historian? What?
Well, we aren't true historians because we actually do stuff.
Ooh, sick burn.
Sick burn, sick burn.
Sick burn.
Of course, it's since I have the history masters, it's also a cell phone.
I mean, my undergrad is history.
Cell phone.
I am a student of the Annals School. I'm all about that long hay.
But I figured it would be a good time to talk a little bit about
Mark
context.
Block was a badass, just so we're all clear. Mark Block, the long hay. Long hay. I can't do the French accent. The long hay. Nobody. Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
No, but you're on your own.
All right.
Keep walking.
He was like he is the. We're gonna go with Godfather of modern history, and he was also a resistance fighter during the German invasion of France during World War II.
The Godfather? So, he made an offer it couldn't refuse? Or he had to do a favor because someone asked him
No, he wrote a bunch of theory about. Hold on, I have a book.
See, this is the nerd who paid attention during his intro to historiography class.
I did. This is my book from that class. So it's the longue durée is basically like the overarching arc of history. It blurted out. Does it work now?
There it is.
This is my face now. But
Since
it's basically the overarching arc of history.
Since I disregard all those colonialist swine, I don't recognize him. If it's not
You don't recognize him because you're like me and don't know what the hell he is.
I'm trying to make my ignorance sound much cooler.
You gotta reread it.
I'm sure I read it.
I don't.
But does anyone have a particular thought on context? Ooh, context, or yeah, that's something we do.
You can talk about metal detectorists and the importance of context and when trying to convert them.
But I think metal detectorists, whether we're talking about the public, those people who like to watch TV shows about this, those who get obsessed with the first question they ask you, what is the favorite? When they're not asking you about gold, or dinosaurs, they're asking you about what artifact, what thing, what one singular thing you're finding.
I actually have a really good one for this.
Okay.
So it was literally my first professional gig as an archaeologist. I was working for a company in Northern Virginia, and we were doing excavations at an earthworks fort that was part of the Civil War defense forts around Washington.
Yes.
And we were looking for a gun placement. And in the 60s or 60s, I think, they built a school over part of this fort. And when we were looking for the gun placements, we found like a mid 20th century like cap gun, like the old die-cast cap guns.
Yeah.
Where we were looking for the gun placement, because the kids used to actually play on the gun placements or on the earthworks walls. So you get a neat object, but also the thing that made it neat was that it was part like the context of the thing.
Well, I mean,
I think it was.
and it's a reminder of continual use. That you know, when something is built over time, it doesn't go into like a cryostasis. People like think about that as artifacts like that. It's like, hey, you know, especially like Civil War is a good example. You're shooting, the battle happened, everything fell to the ground, nothing else happened here for 150 years, and that's not true. There's 150 years of continuous activity. People walking, they build stuff on top of these things. All this other stuff happened during that time period. Some of it just as significant, if not maybe more significant, than the one little time period you're looking at there. But I always find that the context question interesting is because so often, I mean, when they're not asking me the sort of more ridiculous questions, the question is, what is the most interesting
thing? You find any gold?
What is the most interesting thing you found? And to me, that's always like the wrong question. Because the most interesting thing I ever found... So she's going to be back in a minute. Sarah had to go away for a second.
You were breaking up a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. We're good. Okay. Sorry.
We're not anything if not consistent. And consistently technical difficulties.
Technical issue. We should eventually upgrade our internet, but I'm just not doing that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could plug it in, but that requires me to go downstairs.
Yeah. Well, do you have an answer for, like, when people ask you what's the coolest thing you found? Do you have an answer?
There's two answers. There's the one I don't really feel like talking, which is a bad thing to say, but there are some times where you don't. You have to move on for something else. In which case, I talk about in field school. We were in downtown Annapolis, and we were in the backyard of a house, and we dug underneath a patio, and I found what most likely is either a really heavy metal cap gun or a small 22 pistol from the early 20th century, intact. And to find that sort of in during field school is kind of a really cool thing. Now, if I want to spend more time with this person or want to really educate them on that, the most interesting thing I ever found was a 17th century ordinary. I am,
ordinary?
Ordinary, a single, maybe story and a half size building, which could be used as storage, inn, residence, sort of your catch-all. For all sorts of goods and services in a colonial setting. And it was interesting because it was the end of a day. We're being sent out to do shovel tests in this field down in southern Maryland. We were basically doing busy work. We'd finished early. Some other people were working on a test unit on the other side of the site. They wanted to keep us busy for the rest of the day. So they sent us all for just one field that had just been recently plowed and told us to go dig some shovel tests. And so we did. And then we started digging up 17th century pottery. Lo and behold, by next spring, when we're out there doing a full block excavation, it's a full 16 by 20 foot post and ground structure with a door, and you can see the fence line for the little fence that was just outside the front door, and there's a trench line in front of the house and some other. So, that is the most coolest thing I've found.
There are places that still have this?
Yeah, you find them by accident.
I don't think no, I've only ever found like brick and stone foundations. I don't think I've ever. That's not true. I worked on places where we've gotten like subfloor pits, but never. I don't think I've ever actually had like a post and ground structure. So I feel like the places I work were not really occupied until a little bit later in the colonial period.
What you need is
by European.
What you need is 200-300-year-old tobacco farms that have been nothing but tobacco farms during that entire period, and then you have a good chance of finding things like that. It's the old ag. It's the old ag fields that you can find that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I work in urban settings a lot. Or
That's where I need to be.
They're fun.
I
You
did that
find
when
a
I was
lot-
working in Chicago. I like it. You find all kinds of weird shit. And needles.
And no ticks and no poison ivy. You know what? I'll take the fish bones in my hand.
Just sometimes needles.
The needles, I'm not really. The needles are a problem. The needles are a problem.
They
And
can
then,
be, yes.
and then every once in a while, the person who wanders into the site, you have to gently turn them around and keep them going so they don't hurt themselves.
That one, oh my god, we had a whole bike tour try to wander onto site because they knew, like, it was a kind of high profile. Well, it's a project that my company's been working on for I guess 3 years now. But earlier on, when it was still like before we had like there was huge holes in the ground where they were putting things in, it was just like an open archaeology site, and they had the construction entrance open. And it was like at the corner of this kind of like side street, and there was like a whole bike tour that's trying to wander in while you're working out. What are you doing? You just walk past the signs that say construction entrance, hard hat required. But it wasn't just like one random person from the tour wandered in and the rest followed. It was like the tour guide came in, and then it was terrible. There was a lot of yelling.
Did you
Mostly
win
on
the
my
argument?
part.
That's the important part.
Yes, they left.
Good. It's
Yeah.
nothing worse than an angry archaeologist.
I did not swear at them, but I did speak quite loudly.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you got like the, 10, 7, 10, 20-foot pits.
Oh yeah,
Right? That
no,
they're just
no.
gonna wander into.
It was like right when we started digging those, and it was like you should not be anywhere near here. You're going. You don't know what's going on here. You're going to fall in something.
Yeah, because they're gonna stand too close to the edge and crumble your wall.
Yeah. Well, not even our walls. Like they were getting ready to like dig like foundations and stuff. So like we were taking it down so they could have stable ground, and that whole area was all like manufactured coastline. So like we took it down a good ways before they could start before they even got to grade, and then a little bit farther so they had stable dirt to dig on. It was like, yeah, it was like it's don't have open construction entrances without somebody hanging out nearby. I think is what I have learned, and that wasn't on us. That was on was on the contractor. But
Yeah, they should have had that.
yeah, I honestly, you know what? I don't know if they could have done anything better. Like there were signs all over the place. They just ignored the signs. Because at a certain point, you can't just be opening and closing a gate for dump trucks coming in and out. Like it's just not efficient. But like if you have signs all over the place, people are still walking in. What do you do?
People don't read signs.
No, they don't. They really don't. Tourists are just the worst.
Yeah.
So do we want to segue into like public archaeology now or something?
We could. That same project, we had a school group come up to the fence near where we were working, and that was actually a very positive experience for me because they were excited about what we were working on and the artifacts we were pulling up. Like I found like a toothbrush or something, and they were like, "Wow!" They like lost their minds.
Well,
It
toothbrushes are actually kind of cool.
It's pretty cool, and if you like, I think I got my whole like concept of what was cool got like really like shifted because we just found so much cool stuff on that site. I don't know, and so like it was just like a lot of really interesting things. So like the toothbrush is not the coolest thing found out there.
Hey,
Yes,
I've seen some really cool toothbrushes. You get a nice bone toothbrush.
Oh yeah,
Don't knock the toothbrushes, man.
I'm not saying the toothbrush wasn't cool. I'm just saying there were cooler things.
How dare you, sir?
I pulled a full hatchet with a wooden handle out of that same feature.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. It was a really cool project.
Nice. Now, the other cool, like, archaeology thing that was, since our show is pretty much like, what did we see on Twitter this week? And then we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. was this nice conversation that a few other people were having. Tom, I think you were having a part of it, but Annalise Bear, if anyone's not familiar with her on Twitter, she works in the entertainment industry, but she's a trained archaeologist, and she's worked as a producer and a researcher, and she's really behind the scenes of a lot of the shows we don't like talking about, or we like talking about and kind of dunking on.
But not in a nice way.
Yeah. Not in a nice way. And she very nicely, in her NDA, very professional way, sort of nods and agrees, but doesn't name names. But she had a very nice long thread about sort of the difficulties with getting archaeology or one quote unquote real archaeology. And that's always a weird business misnomer, but non pseudoscience archaeology onto TV. And like she was making a good point on. She's making a really great point on how it made me feel like CRM actually reading this thing. How like the consultants, the sort of like the experts they bring on at the end are sort of the last things they think about. So like in terms of budgeting your archaeologist, or when you're going to get your sort of expert in there, that's the last thing they're thinking about. They've already gotten the story of the show in place. They've got the locations all set up, and it's like, hey, we need an expert to look over this. Yeah, okay, that's last minute.
That's cute.
It's
Can
cute.
you just do
last
this,
minute stuff.
for free?
Yeah.
Can we pay you an exposure?
No. You'll pay me in sandwiches.
People die of exposure.
It's true. That's a way to kill people.
Yeah.
You can kill Sims that way too.
Because they starve. They can't make it. They're not making any money, and then they starve. Hence, you die of exposure.
Yep. Right.
I think you're being too literal.
I mean, it's not wrong.
It's true. It's very true. Unfortunately, that's like free archaeology. Why don't you come work on my site for a while, and I'll pay you an experience. Yeah, well, experience doesn't buy McDonald's, so
yeah,
it doesn't even buy ramen.
No, it doesn't. Sometimes it gives you ramen, but usually not ramen. It's usually like small sandwiches and cookies, and sometimes coffee.
That's true. I don't think I've ever gotten ramen, but I got peanut butter crackers one time.
And how this ties into this ties into our first subject is that is that context for most people who aren't archaeologists is boring. At least that's what TV producers think, because they want to see the cool thing. But the context of how you actually get that thing isn't what they have you out there for. But Tom, I responded to you on your thread on this subject earlier in this week.
Which one?
You already forgot about it. It's about TV, presenting archaeology on TV.
Did I have one this week?
Yes. Oh man.
Hold on.
Wow. You fail at life.
Oh no.
This is your own topic.
Is it? Not this week. I don't remember saying anything about it this week.
I love it.
So anyway, what I was telling you is that we archaeologists, and we may have to be the vanguard of this here at Archaeo RPG.
The Blood and Treasure? Is it the Blood and Treasure thing?
You were watching Blood and Treasure, yeah, and the presentation of archaeology on TV. That we might need to take the Finding Bigfoot model, or maybe even not the Unearthed American, because he's kind of boring. I mean, we need to have a consultation with Scott. We need to help him. He needs an intervention.
You could do so much better.
He is boring, and he gets more boring every season.
So I'm worried about him.
The same stuff.
But anyway, with the Finding Bigfoot, this, or any of these sort of gold shows or this thing like that, it's never about the thing the show is about. It's about the interaction of the people doing it. So we have an archaeology show where it's not about what we actually... You might not even mention what the hell site we're on. And we focus...
Real World Big House. Real World Big House.
And we just focus on the archaeologist and the games being played and the pranks at the back at camp at night and who got too drunk and who slept with
We don't
who
play
and starts a
games.
fist fight afterwards. Now there we go. Let's high
Wow.
content TV.
I don't think I've ever been on a crew that had a fist fight.
Well, if we
Never been on a crew myself, but I've taught most people I worked with have gotten in brush axe fights.
well if we get the right production company to make this, there will be fist fights. All right, I've seen enough behind the scenes of these reality shows. Okay, that once you
If
get
you pay people little enough and work them hard enough, they will try to kill each other.
it's like, do you want scenes in this week's episode? We can feature you this week, or you might not be mentioned, but we can feature you this week, and you can go viral. I just need you to go
If
over
you
there.
punch that dude in the face.
I just need you to go over there and punch him in the face.
Wow.
I mean,
It's like,
that might be the most extreme example, but moving it away from trying. I mean, if the model that we currently have isn't working, we need to think up new models of how we present on visual media.
I'm a big fan of the idea of just ripping off the other shows. Like, just rip their format off.
can we just call it Bigfoot
Clearly
Show?
they work.
Okay,
but,
so
you know,
so we spend an hour talking about real facts, but we say it really fast, and then we do a lot of cuts around the
lots
world,
of flashy pictures and pumping music.
and they're all real
and
facts.
then you just kind of, and then you just like drop a bomb in there. You're just kind of like, and context means that we have to leave things in situ so that we understand how it relates to other objects. Bam! And then you move on to whatever the next topic is.
and then
And
we
now we
and then-
backfill all of our holes.
and we just end the episode with it, and that's why Binford Wife did all the work. Boom.
Oh,
Exactly.
another good burn.
There's a road in Indiana named after him. Benford Boulevard.
Why?
Because he's from the area, I guess.
I mean, it's a kind of common last name.
But he's also
Binford Tools.
also how
I'm pretty sure it's
famous
supposed to be the Benford.
how famous
What?
is he when you're like a famous academic American archaeologist? How famous is that really?
Is he
Maybe some-
Really? Really?
After you.
Is he famous though?
Really?
I get
I
it.
mean, Bill
Infamy
Kelso's
is a
kind of
fine-
famous.
Infamy is a form of fame.
True. What about? Yeah. Hold on. Also, very important question: is Real World and or Road Rules too old a reference?
Yes.
Mm-mm.
Even though they are being revived. Well, consider that
Were they on season 78? Like, what's
it's the
Oh
30th.
yeah, it's like Big Brother 40.
It's the 30th anniversary of the first episode of Real Rules, Real World.
Real wow.
30 years,
Really?
yeah, 89, yeah.
wow?
Wow.
I did not know that. I didn't think it was. I thought it was early 90s. I didn't
You
realize.
did know that.
Also,
Oh, that would be
they did,
early
like,
90s.
3
That'd be
seasons of-
89.
they were getting to like 2 or 3 seasons a year at one point too.
Yeah.
Because they had a bunch of spin-offs. They had like Real World New York and Real World San Diego and
I
Real
thought that
World
was
Abu
just
Dhabi.
like. I thought that was just like season to season.
No, they split them. They started having real world houses in other locations. I mean, it was a cool idea when they first did it because like they tried to bring on a bunch of people who had like issues and you know see if they would get along. But I don't know. It just it went wrong.
But
It
the
was no
I-
longer interesting.
yeah.
For the 4th season,
but the idea
which
of
tells you
studying
you've got 4 seasons of Archaeology House before you have to take it off the air.
I mean, like 2, honestly.
no, we live in a streaming era. We can go like the Netflix, and you can do it all. Well, you can't do it all.
Just stream forever.
We'll have to go to the other website on the internet, which is just as good as YouTube and probably has better freedom of speech.
Ooh.
What are the what is this place of which you speak?
The Hub.
Oh,
Oh. Mm,
Hey,
harder to do. That wasn't meant to be a double entendre.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Hold on.
Wait, we're back?
We're back. Okay, good. Woo!
What happened?
I think we're okay.
We disappeared for a second. Well, we didn't disappear completely. Thankfully, our coming soon thing came back up. Yay!
I think we're okay.
But I think we're okay now, yeah. That was a momentary hiccup. So, yay us.
Okay. Enough about the rules. But yeah, no. So the idea of trying to build it like a Bigfoot hunting Bigfoot, or we could just call it generic Bigfoot show / archaeology.
Bigfoot archaeology.
Bigfoot archaeology. Just kidding. No Bigfoot. Only archaeology.
No, we do it while we're on site.
Bigfoot archaeology, and then like we spend season after season.
It's just somebody wearing huge.
Yeah. No, we wouldn't be lying. While we're on site, we are absolutely looking for Bigfoot as we're running our phase 1. I'm looking.
Just every so
I don't
just
see
do a
him.
smash cut every so often of everybody just standing around the field looking around.
Yeah.
And not seeing anything. And then back to whatever we're talking about.
Eating your granola bar, looking around.
And then every once in a while, someone needs to go. Wait a minute. Did you hear that?
Did you hear that?
No.
And then we have to go charging through the trees, swinging a machete around like fucking idiots because.
I mean,
as a
survey?
PSA for Scott Walter, I know you're watching us.
Dude, him and his machete.
Please
Put
learn
down.
how to use a machete when going through the woods. I don't want you hurting yourself or others. I watched him running around the jungles of Mexico, and he was going to hurt himself or other people with his machete.
He wasn't even running. He was like strolling purposefully through the jungle, through the mowed paths in the Amazon, and then like
machete is a full arm motion, not a wrist motion. We don't swing the machete from the wrist. It is the arm. It is a full body.
Like one would sing an axe.
You know, a little hip. You know, if you get a little hip action into it too, that's not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
it is satisfying to hack the living bejeebus out of something, though.
It is,
especially,
but we'll also
especially
have
when it's like briars or like anything sticky or just those stupid fucking brambles.
Can we also talk about just for a second how anybody who uses a machete on television doesn't actually need to be using that machete?
Exactly.
Like at all? Like
At
there's
all,
no reason for it?
period.
There's really no reason for it. Like, the path is clear. Why are you hacking those poor trees to pieces?
What does a tree do to you?
Like, seriously. Did it make fun of your mama? Because otherwise, get away from it.
Also, to be fair, most of the time I've used the machete, I didn't really need to. Like, maybe the first or second cut were necessary, but the 20th cut and then taking down that tree completely might have been overkill.
That's for you.
Maybe. That's true. That's revenge is what that is. One of my field crew, I think I've told you guys this, one of my crew chiefs, he was, they were working ahead of us and flagging where we needed to go because it was this impenetrable wall of brambles and thorns and just all of the horrible shit that you encounter in the field.
I worked there.
For acres. Yeah, well, so they would get out ahead of us so that they could
we've all
use the
worked there.
GPS so that we could be on grid.
Yes.
And he was up ahead of me about 30, and I can hear him because you can't not. And all of a sudden I just hear whack, 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 whack. I'm like, can't see a goddamn thing. I'm like, dude, you okay? He's like, I'm fine now.
Just needed a minute.
Just give it a minute. It's awesome.
The transits must be straight no matter what obstacles in front of you. We are going through it.
He didn't even care if the transects were straight. He just wanted us to be on something that resembled a grid, and because he's real laid back about this stuff. He's just like, yep, this is shit. But he was the one who had to like move through it more than the rest of us, and of course he hacked the path. So after he's done, you're just like doop 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 doop. So it's just like he was taking the brunt of it, and it just finally got to him.
I mean, yeah, that's a familiar feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, good on him as a crew chief. I think that was good for him, but I understand. He just snapped.
There are few things as soul-sucking as, like, trying to go through a bramble, realizing you've been there half an hour, and that you've only moved in 10 feet, and there's another 30 feet for you to get to the other side.
Yep. I am fast approaching the time at which I will buy a mini machete just to have on my belt at all times. I have adopted the strategy of wearing duck pants at all times and using the using my screen like
as a shield,
yep. Or like a crop circle and just stomping down whatever's in front of me.
Yeah,
I've done that. I understand. Yeah. I honestly don't think the machete's the best option for getting through that kind of shit, though. I really think a nice pair of like hand clippers will do so much better, because you can just kind of clip where you need to go, and a lot of times you just need to clip the one.
Full duck cloth and a screen. Just go over the top. Just go. Just do it. That's the fastest way of doing it.
No, you don't understand. There was no going up. We actually had to crawl. We like army crawled under some of this shit to get to our units because there was no going over.
Done that too.
Oh no, it's not over. It's through.
Now this is strictly for places that have vegetation. As I learn on the podcast I'm a co-host on, the CRM Archaeology podcast, with those folks over on the West Coast who just sort of walk around everywhere in the desert with their GPS units in their hands. They don't know what this bramble is or this brush.
No, but they do know what 10 miles uphill is.
They do know that.
So,
digging. Who digs?
Unless you're here in like northern PA, southern New York, and it is both uphill and brambles, and then it's just like I understand what hell is. I do. Antics.
Sisyphean.
It really is, though, because as soon as
the brambles just keep growing back.
You spend all this time getting up to the fucking top of this hill to drop one hole, and it's fucking disturbed.
Yeah.
And it is hell, because have you guys? I'm sure you guys have also in the horribleness of the woods the needle nettles that'll just poof.
Nettles don't bother me as much anymore. They sting for a while and then they stop.
Here it's the scrub cedar that's all like this close together. And then like if you don't have a hood or something to like keep your neck full closed, it's just you're just itchy all damn day.
Yeah.
Do you guys have the little white caterpillars there?
The white caterpillars?
So when I was working in Georgia, only further proving that Georgia truly is hell, there's these little white caterpillars. They're about that long. They're white and fuzzy. They look really cool. You're like, oh, cool, a white fuzzy caterpillar. They have some kind of dust on them that if it brushes along your skin, you blister.
No.
No.
Nope.
We were goofing around one day, because that's what you do, and one of the guys went over and shook one of the little trees, and you know how shit falls out of the tree. Well, one of these things fell out of the tree and right down the back of one of the t-shirts, and so we got her shirt up on the back and got it out, and she had like this line where the thing had like crawled and rolled down her back. Yeah, I don't touch caterpillars anymore, and I was like, oh, they're cool. I love to look at them, but I won't touch them.
There is one, I think they call them like fuzzy bears or something like that, or flannel caterpillars.
Well, the fuzzy, any woolly caterpillar I don't touch with my bare hands. For things like that.
Is it that one or the saddlebacks that are here that if you like bump into them, your whole arm goes numb?
I think it's a saddleback.
I
think it's a saddleback.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the woolly ones are supposed to be good for predicting winter because of the stripes on their back, and they just roll up into tight little balls. I think. But I don't. I'm like, if I've got gloves on, I don't touch anything. I'm invulnerable with my gloves on, but...
Is that the one? Did that one sting? I don't remember.
I don't think
I
the
don't know.
fuzzy one doesn't sting, but the
there's, like-
saddleback I think
The
does.
saddleback definitely does.
There's also a certain point in every day. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, where I just don't care what stings me at that point. And your will to live is over with at that point. If like a snake bit you, it'd be like, oh, that's cute. You can walk through
finish my hole before I die in it.
walk through brambles with shorts on. You know, you don't care anymore. You're just like, whatever.
I guess I'm bleeding now.
At least if I'm in pain, I know I'm still alive and I have not died yet.
It's true.
And I'm
I've
definitely
definitely-
go out on this phase 1.
Do it. Do it. This is what you chose for your life.
Stop
for all
reminding me of my poor life decisions.
We're all there.
So for
This
all,
is where we live.
So for all aspiring archaeologists out there,
Good
our
stuff.
word of advice: avoid phase 1s in the summer anywhere on the east coast of the United States. And if you don't like hiking in the desert, avoid the west coast too.
Good luck.
The South's not a whole lot better. It's always muggy and it's always hot.
Yeah.
And everything there is poisonous. Everything in the South is poisonous. Everything. The butterflies are
people-
poisonous.
That's butter.
And people are poisonous too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
Yes.
want to get bit by people.
They have sepsis. They bite you and you get anyway.
And yeah, people bites are supposed to be like among the worst. Like
We're like
for healing.
Komodo dragons.
Yeah. Well, no. Turns out that's actually venom.
Is it? I thought it
Yeah.
was just the bacteria.
I thought it was the
Huh.
bacteria
They
in the
actually-
spit.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. I guess they used to think that, but I guess recently they have figured out that they actually have like venom sacs.
See, this
Oh.
I really need to get like a soundboard so I can come up with different sounds for these. Cool fact of the day. Whoop.
Doo-doo-doo.
Go listen to, I think it's one of the more recent episodes of Ologies with Allie Ward. She did Saurology, which is lizards, herpetology, I guess.
Herpetology.
Yeah. But they talk about water dragons a little bit.
That's kind of cool.
That is cool.
Now I can go. I'm gonna go harass the Komodo dragons at the zoo now.
All right.
Be like, ha ha, you have venom sacs. Ha 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 ha.
Why would you harass? That's not.
Have you ever harassed a Komodo dragon? They just sit there and look at you like you're stupid because you are.
You're you're lucky there are glasses in between us.
Or I just continue to sit here and stare
I
at
eat
you.
the hell out of you.
Yeah. They're pretty fast when they want to be. But anyway, we're way off topic. I apologize.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
now
let's
we're talking
rein it
about
back
dragons.
in.
Speaking of dragons,
So we're
I was gonna
gonna.
say,
This show is not brought to you by any sponsors yet. So if you're a sponsor watching the show, going, "Damn, that's some good content," you can
I'm
contact
sorry.
us on any of those platforms over there, and you too could be a sponsor of the show. I mean, if you can see, there's a blank spot down there. We could put your logo there. We are not
Oh, wait.
above
This
shilling.
way.
Like get down in the.
I don't know
like
which direction
that.
I'm pointing. Sorry.
I'm touching it basically right now.
are you? Are you though?
In my mind, I am, and that's a
I'm
reality.
I don't know which way I'm pointing.
So with
Everything
that,
is backwards, and I.
so
See, I can't.
oh,
Come
Sarah,
on, catch
let's,
up with
let's
me,
try,
video.
Let's try high five.
Which
Oh.
way? Hold on.
No,
hold
my
on, hold on.
my camera froze. I can't.
Oh.
Nothing's happening. Oh
Okay.
wait, no,
No
there we
high
go.
five.
It's
I think
just
it's this
super
direction.
behind.
All right, ready? 1, 2.
Ah.
Yay, team!
Did we do it?
No, we were
No.
horrible. All right, so we are going to take a quick break. And by quick break, I'm going to throw up the break sign because I put all the work into it for like
Tom at least at the right corner.
3 or 5 seconds. Not long at all. We're not taking a real break. Then we'll come back and start talking. We'll transfer more into gaming for those of you who came for the gaming action. So we'll
Yeah,
be right back
games.
in like 3 to 5 seconds. You'll probably not even miss us. And we're back. Did you miss us?
We went somewhere.
So now we're on to the second half of the show, where we throw in gaming with our Archeo talk.
Mercilessly.
So in our
No, I have a good one to talk about now, though. Tell us your thingy.
which one?
The thing you posted.
Oh, well, that's kind of
Bill.
that kind of works on this, because that sort of goes into what the project, the overall project is. But now you're going to make me have to open up the other thing to see what I wrote. So we're trying to pretend that we're actually like scientists, and so we are. So we're not just playing Dungeons and Dragons for fun. Now you, the viewer, this is fun for you. You just enjoy it and learn something. But we're actually behind the scenes trying to do some science and stuff like that. So I'm trying to find it now. I'm pulling it up. I have to pull up Discord now and find it.
No, it was great. It was like
so
your concept of quantifying the intangible.
So I will read what I wrote.
Real good buzzwords.
I will read what I wrote this morning.
Yes.
All right. Well, so that what we're trying to do here is about the archaeology of imagined spaces. As archaeology becomes more involved in data analysis, it becomes possible to rethink what constitutes an artifact or a feature. If an artifact is a manifestation of human thought, this artifact no longer needs to take physical form. As long as something can become a data point, it can be used in analysis. The test case for this idea will be the ongoing campaign of the tabletop role-playing game Dungeons & Dragons. The game has physical material, papers, figures, etc. A digital material, our websites we use, D&D Beyond, Roll20, whatever else we might be using, and imagined material, the actual player characters, what goes on during gameplay. The following will be an experiment to see if all three of these materials can be transformed into data, and an analysis of this event, the campaign, can be discerned. So that's it in a nutshell.
Okay.
This is where you go,
Yes.
Sounded better when I was reading it.
No, I think
I liked
it's a
it.
solid abstract.
Hello there.
Yeah,
we have another.
Thinking, I was like, were you writing an abstract for the
I was-
essays?
I was
This
basically
is our
yes.
TV segment.
Well, this
Our
is
elevator pitch, our really long elevator pitch.
About Bigfoot TV shows and archaeology.
Well, I
But
did
not-
just do our
not
pitch
at all
though
about
on
Bigfoot.
our intellectual underpinning for our Dungeons and Dragons role-playing game and why it's actually still going to be archaeology, even though we're going to play with Dungeons and Dragons. And
I
with that, because I mean the big thing that was on that was making me think like, wait a minute, because I'm starting to read Andrew Reinhardt's Archeo Gaming book, and he's inspiring me to read some Foucault. I'm also reading Foucault's Archaeology of Knowledge. This is all in my own time.
Man.
This is all in my own time, all right? There's no school pushing me on
Nerd.
this. And so the idea of these ideas as concepts, we always talk about them. They're sort of the domain of things like art history, art criticisms, and literature reviews, and cultural studies and things like that. But there's a certain intersection with archaeology because thanks to the digital media, and actually you go back to books, historical archaeology, they can become artifacts. In the past, thought becomes artifact by becoming text within a book. And now in the digital era, thought becomes an artifact through the video that can be captured, the words that are being spoken, the ideas that are put into things like video games and so forth. And the idea of doing this with Dungeons and Dragons is almost sort of taking a step back from what Andrew's doing, because this is at its basis it's an analog game, it's a storytelling game, and it's a game where it's organized with sort of rules and has ideas outside of the people. There's a structure involved created by others, like a social structure, in terms of like the tropes being used and the ideas being used and the mechanics being used, but it's being created by the individuals being played, so they are themselves playing artifacts. So in the same way that you take a stone, You manipulate a stone to create lithics. On one level, that's a very personal act, that person taking those tools on there. On the next level, it's a more social act, the people in your community who have taught you those ideas and have reinforced what are the good ones, because we keep those, and what are the bad ones, they tell you to throw in the pile and you suck, and go back to picking berries. But it also goes back to a more imagined thing, because the stories that are told and recorded through art and other means, generationally, of the ideas on this. So that not only are you making flakes, you're making flakes that have certain aesthetic purposes and things like that. And so it's
They're
playing with
aesthetically pleasing.
and so with all three of those things being played, can that be found in a place where a bunch of nerds sit around a table and talk about magic and wizards? And I say,
it's my turn to make a Foucault reference.
And my answer to that is yes, or else I wouldn't be thinking like this. But that's the early morning. I just had coffee this morning. Thought that I had to go write something down.
It was a good thing, and I think there's a paper in there.
There's a hell of a paper in there.
Too many things that I've said that about, but you should definitely write a paper, and we can co-author if you want help. Well, I will help co-author if you want help.
I guess I'll help too.
But I think that's
well, you're
actually
also
a little bit of
too.
what. Yeah,
that's true.
So am I.
Observation. But but kind of what we've been doing here is not unlike a Foucauldian genealogy. So we're actually looking at where are these ideas coming from, how are they getting transformed and translated into the product that we're about to be using, which I think is kind of cool. So we were talking about, all right, so the concept of orcs as the bad guy, where did that come from? And
right.
we take that back, we took that back to Tolkien and his racism, essentially, colonialism, whichever word you want to use, his racially biased thought, and how over time the editors of Dungeons and Dragons, in the different editions are starting to break that down to the point where now the editor, James Hayek, wrote an article in which he threw together some homebrew rules about how to take race out of your game mechanics and into more cultural influences.
And I did like the way that he did that, because it keeps those aspects still very playable for the game. So see, I can talk game here. So it keeps the mechanics still in the game, but it shifts the importance of them away from your species and more towards the career that you choose and the background focuses, which is, a little bit more reflective of reality anyway. You're going to develop and pick up different traits and skills for the most part when you start doing something. You start learning how to do things. So it also opens it up to, you can have a character of any race and getting all kinds of cool bonuses, that they would not otherwise have access to, which again plays back into the whole racist part of D&D, which is unfortunate, but I do like that, because I read his article about it. I did reach out to him and ask him if he'd like to come on the show. I haven't heard anything back, but no one should be surprised. Sorry. But I do like that, the Dungeons and Dragons writers are themselves taking the initiative to kind of decolonize their game,
and that's
or
the
at
impression.
least try to make a better game.
And that's the impression I've gotten, is that the people at Wizards of the Coast, the creators, the writers, and things like that, are definitely mindful of all the things we've been talking about over the number of weeks, and the problematic natures of some of the stuff within D&D, because of its longer tail in the world of fantasy. I think some of the concerns are some of the modern concerns, sort of in a lot of different genres, and that's sort of not necessarily the fandom. That's always a bad way of putting it, but a certain portion of fandom, which is which is conservative by nature, and by conservative I mean tied to older, more nostalgic ideas of how the game
We've
should
always
be.
done it this
They're
way.
the gatekeepers. We have always done like this. We can't change this. Why are all these new people here? It used to be so much better before all these new people came into here. Yeah.
But that is such a myth. It really is, because I know what you're talking about, and it
exists, but it's
such
not
a-
as.
No, it is.
They're
no,
small.
no,
They're
what
not
you're-
as big
the,
as they
The
think.
mentality. No, your mentality. The mentality that you're describing totally exists.
Right.
The whole like, oh, this is how we've always done it. You know, why are you fangirls playing now? You know, women in the gaming community. Blah, we've never had women before, and it's just like. Actually, we kind of helped build the gaming community, and it's that kind of a thing. It's like the rules are always changing. That's why there's fucking Dragon Magazine.
Right.
There's always new rules in Dragon Magazine. And,
Right.
you know, the rules that everybody really loves that have evolved into 5th edition were play tested at some point,
Right.
you know, prior to this. So it's just like they have like Golden Age syndrome, basically,
Right.
and for gaming. And it's it's ridiculous. It's like you're living in the memory of a myth
Yeah. Like my
or a
favorite.
made up game.
My favorite truism is that the good old days never existed. You know, like they just done any time period. I mean, we spend our lives in the world of the past. It sucked. It
was
sucked as
terrible.
bad as it did today. All right, there wasn't a good.
Maybe worse. Maybe worse.
know.
Yes.
I don't think life's that bad today, so
Well,
also
yeah, and
better
that's
modern
also
chemistry,
sort of the
so-
in the grand scheme of things, this is the best it's ever been. Now go in a corner and start drinking, because this is the apex.
Yeah. On that note,
If we could just get over that apathy and do something about it.
But yeah, so once again, like the second half of this show, when we talk the gaming stuff and we talk about sort of our game, that will be breaking news. Mark your calendars right now. Thursday, September 19th, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Friday, 9 a.m. Japanese Standard Time. That's for Amma.
I don't think that's what it's called, but okay.
No, I think it's called. I
Japanese Standard Time?
googled it. It said Japanese Standard Time. All right.
Really?
What? All right then.
And unless someone corrects me in the next 2 seconds, it's true.
That's how it is.
You can't prove I'm wrong.
Can't prove I'm wrong. I said it on the internet. Okay, it's true. When have you ever been lied to on the internet? That's right.
Constant.
Never.
Today or
Always. What was the date again?
But anyway,
Say that.
as you guys are jumping on the announcement, September 19th, Thursday, September 19th, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 9 a.m. on Friday in Japan, midnight, I think, in the UK, GMT. Rituals and Rolls. Campaign 1. Welcome to the jungle, or whatever. We got to come up with it. That's part of our thing. We need to come up with a good tag
We do
name.
need a tagline.
We will be entering session 1. We are going to go to Chult. We are going to go to the jungle. We're going to get bitten by mosquitoes, and we're all going to die of dengue fever by session 5. Spoilers.
Wow. Oh, man.
you know, my friend lives in the Philippines, and she says that dengue is just a thing that you get. It's just like the cold. You get dengue. So it's not funny, Bill.
Fine, I'll talk about something funnier like Ebola.
There's
always a good joke with
Oh,
Ebola.
It's funny.
Oh, no. I mean, malaria
But
is
yes,
probably more likely.
But
yeah.
but this is big news. Big news. The campaign is starting. It's real, and
For
mind
real, gonna happen.
Oh,
more
real.
importantly, before you guys
Okay.
run over this again, check out that first one, which is Twitch, because it will be, we are broadcasting our gameplay, as we have been with our video games, over on our Twitch channel, www.twitch.tv/archaeorpg. It will premiere
It's in
on.
chat.
It will premiere on Twitch, and by sometime the week afterwards, will show up on YouTube, and sometime even further after that, it will show up as a podcast. I'm doing all this by myself. I'm trying. And also, a pre-apology for those who do listen to the podcast. Episode 4 is going to be interesting. But anyway, back to Rituals and Rolls. Rituals and Rolls. Amma's back. She's going to be in the fold. We're going to be able to start the campaign. We're going to see Tomog, our Goliath. Oh, darn it. I forget everybody else's name now. I should have had the sheets in front of me.
This one's there, no.
Go back to Rituals and Rolls episode 0, which is on our YouTube channel here. After you finish watching us, where we do begin talking about this campaign, sort of the setting of the campaign, introducing the characters briefly. These are characters we are bringing over from our home campaign, which we've been playing for the last year. We're sort of accelerating them forward in time. We're starting them at level 5 for those who are familiar with Dungeons and Dragons, and they're going to be taking part in this game. Into the this right here, a written campaign for D&D, because we decided, after spending way too much time trying to make my own game world, that if we really are going to try to do a critical analysis of D&D, it is best to do that from within the text of D&D. And the interesting thing, as the other thing I was thinking about too, that's a big sort of a weird place. This is basically like a book analysis, but we're playing the book. We're like in the book. We're the character.
We are the book.
We are the book. It's weird. That's why I want to play with this. It's playing with my mind in terms of like what is this exactly? Who are we?
What is archaeology?
What is even?
Well, especially as we're growing bigger into the world of digital archaeology. And, you know, with digital archaeology, things are becoming less tangible. You know, there's the mechanical things of the computers that are being built, but there's the software and the code and those ideas that are being put on there that are also counting as the archaeology. You know, once again, if you haven't, we plug his book pretty much every episode. Get a copy of Andrew Reinhardt's
Archaeo Gaming.
No, I wanted to show up. I had the book nearby.
No. I don't. Somewhere around.
I have a digital copy.
Ooh. See, you don't even have
Yeah, sorry.
You have an ethereal copy. What is that copy? Is that copy real? Do you own the copy? Did you own the copy beforehand?
Did I own the copy beforehand?
Is it too meta that your Archaeo Gaming is?
Is it too meta that my Archaeo Gaming is a PDF file?
Yeah.
Yeah. My Archaeo Gaming is a digital artifact. Thank you.
Wow.
And here, let's take it to another level. I put notes in it through my pad, so all of my notes are virtual as well. Dude, I love my Kindle.
Did you record
everything with me?
Now you next need to do sort of a Twitch live stream of yourself reading the book while making the notes to sort of take that meta thing to the next level.
That's terrible.
I don't know that one is like that's not going to be good. Just.
Am I reading it out loud, or am I just like have a camera focused on it? I just see my finger when I go to highlight. Otherwise, it's just the page flipping every now and then. Yeah. No, people know how fast I read. Fuck that.
Yeah, I only got to watch a little bit of Philosophy Tube's stream he did over the weekend, where he was reading the entire works of Shakespeare to raise money.
Why?
He was raising. It was a charity thing.
Okay.
And he's a British theater nerd when he's not doing his philosophy.
Was he like reading it out loud and performing it?
Like somewhat performative, yes. And he had because he's a big YouTuber, he had YouTube celebrity guest on with him. I don't know why I'm doing all the finger quotes because I knew all the people he was having on as guests. You know, I'm pretending like I'm not a consumer of all that content. I'm like trying to.
Are you just telling us how much YouTube you're doing now? Is that?
Hey, I'm not just a content creator. I'm a client. Look, Google that reference, kids. The kids might not get that. You have to Google it. Ask your parents.
Yes, Lucas, it is an awesome book. I assume you are responding about. I don't know.
They're both awesome.
This teaches me to.
They're both available on Amazon. They're.
Hell no, I'm not going to San Diego. It's hot in San Diego.
I don't know. I'm trying to. I normally
Also,
go
it's
to.
literally the other side of the country from where I am.
No. San Diego in November. It's nice.
I'm still not going there. Do you know how long that would take me to get there? Jesus Christ.
5 hours.
By plane.
Drive?
San Diego. I mean, well, you're all. I forgot you don't fly.
I don't fly if I don't have to. We're currently going to go visit my uncle in Texas, though, and they have. No, we are taking the train. Yes, never mind.
How about
I don't have to fly.
You could ask Hannah about great road trips in Texas. Speaking of which, Hannah, if you are watching us, you aren't. You're probably playing Overwatch. Be careful down there in Florida, and for everyone else down in Florida and along the East Coast.
Yeah,
Southeast,
seriously.
be safe. You know.
Reminds me.
Watch all of our content now before you get washed out to sea.
You're terrible.
If you want to join the Patreon, do it now. Maybe an upfront payment rather than month-to-month thing. What?
Terrible.
I'm just trying to pre-plan.
Horrible.
People need to think ahead on these things, okay?
For this good content.
What could we do to make our content better?
Format. Probably.
Format.
To start. Format.
We should probably think about a format.
Well, that's
format.
well. The problem with this is the fake break here.
Ridiculous.
The fake break here is that once we start playing the game, that break is a real break, because the second half of the show is going to be us talking about behind the scenes of the previous week's campaign and all the archaeology we didn't mention during the show.
Yeah.
We should probably come up with like a theme for the shows too. That might be helpful.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Yeah.
So like what? All right. So today's theme is from coding and genealogies. That's too nerdy. That was also my introduction to art anthropology theory.
Nice.
Because I didn't start it until I got to grad school, and it was just like, oh, we're gonna start in the deep end. Yeah. Oh, cool.
Oh yeah, see.
I don't know who this is, and I'm afraid.
Archaeology.
What's a good theme? Should we come up with a theme for next time so we can like do a little research and have like?
I was like, now? Aren't we almost done?
We could have that during our production meetings.
We have production meetings.
We have production meetings.
Nice.
But anyway, as we're getting sidetracked,
It's just Bill by himself talking.
We're in D&D time.
We don't interrupt.
You know what? This might not be the best time then to talk about the special. I was thinking about magic items that you guys could have.
What?
But
Wait,
you know, we can wait.
items?
Magic items. Because you guys are 5th level now, so you probably have earned a magic item.
Oh yeah, you were telling us to like come up with some magic items.
No,
that I'm totally drawing a blank
I have a
on.
list. I have like one magic item for each of you.
Yay! It's like Christmas, only not real.
Like a real thing? Like for real?
Like
Yes, he's
real,
going to really mail you a magic item, Tom.
like a real.
I mean, don't tell me you are not going to.
For our characters, man.
It's as real as Santa Claus.
So totally real.
Totally
Oh.
real.
Totally real.
All right.
Real as he is in your head.
So for Tom,
What?
you're going to get the Periapt, Periapt of wound closure.
Hey,
It's a pendant.
I am definitely a meat shield.
It's a pendant. While you wear, so you might want to write it down so you can add it to your.
I'm putting it on right now.
I'll have to email you later on it. While you wear this pendant, you stabilize whenever you are dying at the start of your turn. So if you go down to 0, you go down to stabilizing at the start of your turn. In addition, whenever you roll hit die to regain hit points, double the number of hit points it restores. So when a short break, when you're spending hit die to sort of get your stuff back up, you will get to roll and you get to double those. So yes, it's very definitely good for a meat shield.
That's pretty baller.
For Serra, you're going to get the Stone of Good Luck.
Yay! Actually, it is. Luck is like
cat shaped.
Is it?
You can. Well, you have a month.
It is now.
So this is like the we're less than a month away now, so you have time to start thinking about these things.
I'm gonna find a lucky cat, and it's gonna be my lucky stone. Well, so what do I get besides just being lucky?
So while the Bloodstone disc is on your person, you gain a +1 to bonus to ability checks and saving throws, not included on your sheet. You consider it to be a token of the God of War.
Why am I carrying around a token of the God of War?
Why aren't you?
I don't know. That's a good thing to put into your story. See, now that you have these things, you should come up with maybe some story about how you got these things. Sometime between...
You realize that the only logical story is I looted it from some site I was on, right?
Yes. Sometime between... You acquired it sometime between Phandalin and Baldur's Gate. Spoiler alert, you two will be starting the campaign in Baldur's Gate.
That's not where this... I didn't think that's where it started.
It does now, apparently.
Your story
Mr.
will start...
Meat Shield.
Shows what you know. That's
General
what you get.
Meat Shield now.
That's what you get for trying to read the book. Now, I'm going to go ahead and send hers to her directly, so she has the joy of finding out herself first. And then if she wishes to share it with you guys, she can. She is the secretive drow thief, after all.
She's too mysterious to begin with.
So I had something, Tom, you'll hate it.
Neat.
So to get on that, but so we're on that now. We sort of start talking about sort of the nuts and bolts now that we are like a month away from the game. And unfortunately, not having Amma here for this conversation, I don't think she can join us really on these kind of conversations until the 12th, which will be the week before we start the campaign. So, Amma, quickly, get up the gate. So I hope Amma's watching.
I feel like we should send her a briefing.
Yeah, I'm going to send her some stuff to give her some time to think about some of these things while she's, in the north... Actually, I was going to say North Japan Sea, but I don't know if that's what it's called. She's on an island.
She's on an island.
She's on an island, off of an island.
Isn't she going to, like, Australia or something?
Oh, she might be in Australia right now.
Yeah.
She's still, like, 24 hours off.
So not only
12 hours off from us.
So not only is
it's like she's a real archaeologist.
She's in the future and upside down.
Whoa.
Whoa. Boom.
And it's winter there.
Boom. That doesn't make... I mean, we're going to talk about magic. She's a real magician. How does that even happen?
Time traveler.
You guys know every time you close your eyes, you travel forward in the future, right?
I mean, you always are traveling forward in the future.
No, only when you close your eyes.
Only when you close your eyes?
That's better than not being told every time. Every time you sneeze, you die.
What?
The little deaths.
Well, technically, every time you sneeze, your heart stops. I don't know if that's the same as being dead.
Is that true? I don't think that's true.
I think it is actually. I think your heart like skips a beat. I don't think it like stops because restarting a heart, from my understanding, is very difficult. I'm not a doctor.
Where's our bio people at?
Apparently celebrating their birthday. Happy birthday, Jennifer!
Yeah, apparently. That is kind of true. It skips a beat.
Oh, it does? Okay, see, that makes more sense.
So
I was just making shit up.
So for campaign 1, for rituals and roles, I think rituals and roles kind of needs its own logo.
I think
I
agree with this.
I have the little scary face looking thing that I've been showing on the when we do our video game streams. But I don't know if that works as really like a logo. So I think we need something that's a logo, either something that's going to represent the overall rituals and roles, which is the entire idea of us archaeologists playing tabletop role-playing games, so we don't necessarily want to embed into a single brand, or change it up per season and just dive right into the D&D theme of it. So that's 2 ideas.
I think we need a very simple symbol and that we can change the theme of with the season. I think that seems like a good idea.
That could work. So in other words, my abilities to quickly make up stuff in 5 minutes using a phone app, which has been most of our iconography, is beginning to run thin, and I'm asking for a little bit of group help.
With
this. Hey, I think I did pretty good. Like the
symbol for.
Wait, so are we getting, like, you don't want to use the archaeorpg thing that your icon? You want to use...
Well, that's the overall...
Else?
See, we're talking branding here. That's the overall brand for the archaeorpg collective.
You know, it's a head. You could just put little hats on him.
Still Digging currently has 2 productions. It is... archaeorpg currently has 2 productions. Still Digging, our chat show, and Rituals and Rolls, which is our gameplay show. So I think those 2 shows kind of need their own sort of branding. I kind of like the Still Digging photo of the shovel thing, at least for a big picture, but it might be nice to have a smaller icon for branding purposes. How else are we eventually going to be able to get that sweet, sweet merch started? So that only we buy it, and then it's a complete vanity wear, like a lot of people do.
Just so you know, I've got my own podcast.
It's like, this is a band shirt, you wouldn't know who they are. This is a podcast shirt, you wouldn't know who they are.
See, we say that, and I'm about the, where's the Archie Fantasy merch at, hiding it? It's in a box behind you someplace.
I actually have Archie Fantasies merch. I've got a t-shirt, I've got a coffee mug, and it's one of those cool coffee mugs that, like, you pour hot water in and, like, it melts away and then you see the picture. So you can't put it in the dishwasher or the microwave.
So yes, you, dear viewer, if you want merch, if you want some of that sweet, sweet archaeorpg logo on your coffee mug, or your t-shirt as you're out for jogs, or yes, if you want to be covering there too, they do have that as well. Cafe Press and other people do cover all the areas.
Cafe Press is cool.
I just went at Patreon link.
Oh, I thought you were talking about your nethers, like the Cafe Press sells like the underwear and thongs.
They do, yes.
This part down here
you know what?
On the screen.
If that's what our viewers and listeners want, now who are we to deny them?
I think we can probably talk Amma into helping us out with this, and she's like
that was low.
Things.
In our back chat, that was a very low blow. That hurt. Inside, a very, very inside joke. That was a very low blow. That's a very low blow.
What we need first, though, before we do anything,
is content.
Well, yes.
First, we need a rocking music video.
Okay, well, I just made one for my other videos. I guess I can put one together for this. What song do we want?
Am I the only Billings Had Excellent Adventure fan here?
Oh, nope. Shit. No.
Oh, Jesus.
It's just been forever.
It's so integral to the rest of the story.
Fine. When I get Eddie Van Halen, right? When I get Eddie Van Halen on here for an exclusive interview, you two are gone that day, okay?
Where are you gonna put him? You gonna bump Amma to put him on there? I mean, it's not like there's space for a fifth head.
I think I'll get bumped, man.
Which
Sweet logo.
And I got to think of that redesign thing at some point, because I think at some point we should have guests. It might not be a bad thing to have guests. Well, the other thing is that once we start gameplaying, the three of you guys are not going to be obligated to have to be here every week. We can rotate around.
There's only 3 of us. I mean, not to be mean, but there's only 3 of us.
Yeah.
Or we'll get the schedule in place, and for weeks that someone can't make it, that's when we'll try to find guests.
That I'm okay with.
Maybe that might be the system we work. And when I can't make it, I put up a repeat episode.
Here's a question for you, Lucas. Would you buy branded dice? Would you buy a set of Archaeo Gaming RPG brand dice?
How would we do that?
I don't know.
The logo first.
But considering I've bought, I'm still waiting for it to come in from the Kickstarter, but I bought Critical Role branded dice.
Yeah,
but they have a logo.
But they're Critical Role, and they're friends with like all the major players.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's out there. I'm sure. Hey, Dice Company, I know you're watching us right now.
Dice Company.
Send us a thing over here.
You dice people.
Or as I put it,
Dice Company.
our DMs are open.
Who made the dice set? Is it Chessex or?
I don't know. I haven't
Or
got
is
it
that
yet.
cool 3D printing company?
Well, they've probably got some like cool company, like what's like Kraken, or what's the other one that's huge?
Chessex.
There's Chessex I mean, that's what I've got. I've got Chessex dice, but there's like
what's the other one?
Like fancy dice that like actually use gemstones and stuff.
Yeah. I keep wanting to get a set and turn them into jewelry.
Something about
Does Dice Dungeon make their own?
No, Lord does all the really cool miniatures.
Yeah.
Oh, they do all the sets. Wormwood does all the great woodwork. All you guys, I want, all of our potential future sponsors.
Well, I mean, look, you guys put this shit together. We'll go to Gen Con next year. I'll put on my I am now a master's person to come listen to me talk about pseudoarchaeology, and then we can go around the floor and be like, hey, by the way, we're also a gaming podcast. You should give it free shit.
It would be, the Templa Bonafidas, it would be 3 masters and if Fama flies over, a PhD candidate.
Yeah.
All sorts of credentials stacking up right there.
Dude,
check out my letters.
No.
Oh, it's Amma! It's Amma!
Hello!
Sorry about the yelling. I got excited there.
I also yelled, sorry. Just ruin the levels.
I'm not apologizing for my yell.
We need help with the logo.
No, we're not putting this on her. It's a team.
No.
It's a team.
I said we need help.
Okay. We miss you, Amma.
That'll be our third show. Our third show will be sort of a 5-minute sitcom.
She says she's on it. It's like cheers every time someone comes into the room. It's just like, ah!
Norm! Well, we need. All right, so we need to come up with a symbol then, right? I think.
Sort of like So I think
D20.
Still Digging and Rituals and Rolls need their sort of own separate sort of logo.
Right. So Rituals and Rolls. What are our main tropes? Are dice.
We need a D20 with on the 1. Only the 1 is a trowel.
That could work. That is actually, I like that idea. Replace the.
It's not terrible. It's awesome.
I mean,
as someone who's been throwing together logos for like the past month, or just quick Instagram posts, sometimes the dumbest ideas are the best ones. Hence, my really cool Hulk meme from today.
We could do.
It was a really good meme.
So wait, that is a good meme. Let's have the D20 with the trowel for 1, and then put an Indiana Jones hat on it.
Do we want to embrace that, though? I mean, I know it's good for branding, it works, but do we want to embrace that?
I actually have a kind of shapeless fedora that I wear in the field, so
I would say the fedora really isn't that
Because
out of character.
it's
We're
not
not-
a terrible shade hat.
here
Yeah.
at Archeo RPG, we are not endorsing the looting ways of one Indiana Jones.
He is an antiquarian. He's not an archaeologist.
It's yes, it's the Indiana Jones branded hat on top of that.
Nice.
So yeah, so you know, as for me, you can see I'm a man of principle, and I don't know if I can feel comfortably, you know, take that extra step.
Do we like? Is the trowel too simple? I think is the question.
Unless it looks good.
I like it.
Unless
Yeah,
it looks good. In the end, I'm you know, shameless, whatever. If it looks good, so I like the idea of the hat with the trowel because it sort of adds another feature.
What style trowel?
And do we want
Cool.
dyed? Do we want
The
to?
Lee-
leaf
like-
point?
we wanna go
Philadelphia, margin trowel, London style,
No, the American style. Stop that.
Philadelphia. It's a little bit curved.
We'll be a
Does it
tribble,
mean
all right,
roundup?
my lady. We'll make it. We'll change the fedora up. It'll be a tribble, and we'll be like with a quick little word underneath the dice saying "my lady."
Well, see, but that's the thing. Like, if you put the hat on it, then you can just change the hat out when we change games or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's something to think about. It's just throwing out there, or you know, spitballing ideas.
Alma has a good point. It is Disney IP.
If it looks exactly like this,
Yeah, that's true. It
But-
could just be a hat. Maybe we make it like a boonie hat.
we can make it a we can make it a trucker's cap.
Tell Disney to bring it. Fuck the mouse.
That's right. We are in the second half of Still Digging, the After Hours part.
Okay, wow. I wasn't good there, but yes, we're taking on Disney and we're gonna win.
Will we though? I'm with Alma on this one.
Okay,
Just like I tap out.
Disney. If you're watching, and I know you're watching, you can sign
Yeah.
me. I don't. These two don't have to come with me. You can just sign me. I'm okay with that. Like I said, yeah, we're not going to stand for this. We're going to do what we need to do.
Ooh. None of us do, man. None of us do.
I honestly cannot see. I mean, maybe if we put mouse ears on them, then yeah,
Yeah.
I could see them getting shitty about it. But the fedora,
It's just a hat. I don't think they can copyright a hat.
I don't
There's
think
a-
they can either.
there's
So
enough
we're-
variations
a
on it.
style of hat.
They'll be like, no, you can't use that symbol of archaeology in your archaeology. Wait, hang on.
Something tropes.
I mean, the British ruined the pith helmet, so we can't use the pith helmet.
Oh, but
Oh,
this
yeah.
would be kind of cute.
But it would identify us as the colonialists that we are.
That's true. I like the pith helmet actually.
I mean, the
don't,
pith
though,
helmet
'cause I don't
would
want to
be-
endorse it.
The pith helmet would be a good symbol for the season, though, since you guys will be starting the campaign as agents of a colonialist
And
empire, spreading colonialism into a foreign land.
You understand, like, the first episode is just going to be a conversation of, are we the bad guys?
We are the bad guys.
No, we're the good guys. Breaking the system from the inside.
You'll be the bad
Who was
guys,
it which-
then you'll start killing people.
Was one of you guys the ones that posted the discussion on alignment, changing alignment?
I had a question about how I would
I was reading an article.
change
It
alignment
was-
for what.
So like they completely threw out the old alignment, the way you do alignment, like neutral and chaotic neutral and all
that
that.
was me. That was an entirely different person who's trying to take on decolonize this thing, and he's doing it on Reddit. And I put that.
Wow.
Did I put that on? If I didn't put that on Twitter, I will put that on Twitter. But I might have done that
So
just in
here's the
our.
question. Since we have these two things, because like I liked the alignment discussion. I don't know if it was like playtestable ready yet, but
Right.
the non-racial bonuses is when we do we want to tool our characters to fit? Do we want to test it? Is what I'm saying. Do we want to bring those new rules in because they're playable for the race bonuses? Getting rid of the racial bonuses.
I think we should.
I would be all for it.
Although,
And if the alignment thing was ready to rock and roll, I think that would be kind of interesting too.
And I think
here's my only issue with
Right.
my build is the build for my character is very much built around some of those racial bonuses.
Well, there's other
I
ways
don't
around it.
think
We could repurpose those into other
Yeah.
slots.
Yeah, I don't think you actually would lose them if you didn't want to. Because I kind of don't want to lose mine either, but
Right.
mine are
Okay.
kind of cool.
So this means then we have now changed what our theme is going to be for next Thursday over on Twitch for Rituals and Rolls. Instead of playing another D&D themed video game and watching me do it poorly, we are going to have
That's interesting.
another session 0 where we're going to get together
Okay.
and we're going to try to hammer out our characters. And Amma, if
Before
you
then,
can
I
or
think-
can't make it, we
I don't
understand.
think we're hammering out the characters as much as
No.
we need to hammer out.
I
Like,
mean-
are
I
we
mean,
going
these-
to play rule? Are we going to? What rules are we going to use?
That's what
Because
I
we
mean.
have the option.
Yeah, I
to
don't
use-
mean I don't mean your character in terms of who this person is, but in terms of the mechanics
Yeah.
of it. I think we could need to have like a sort of a longer discussion about mechanics, and that might be best for sort of another sort of session 0 type environment where we can spend an hour sort of kind of going through all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, like, it just seems to me if we're going to be doing this, and our whole purpose is, can we decolonialize
Right.
D&D, and then we have at least one really good attempt at decolonializing it. I feel like we should at least give it a shot.
I'm not adverse to sort of doing some experimenting around the edges, but I know our big goal is to sort of play within, sort of deconstruct the world of
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons.
There's actually, I mean, if you guys don't want to do it, I totally understand too, because then I don't have to re-finagle my character. Because our
Right.
characters are built.
I think
For
if
the
we
base
are
game.
trying to do this as Archeo Gaming, I think we have to play by the set rules to,
Okay.
and I think
So-
I think we can.
so
That's
the
something
video
that we should definitely
game-wise-
discuss, though.
Yeah.
No, I understand what you're saying. That you're right. If we're going to, if the goal is to take apart the game as the game stands, then we have to play it the way it is.
Okay, well in this case then, next Thursday, so I think that makes sense too.
I think-
We're playing the game without modding it, is the sort of, take the video game analogy. Sort of all these other
Yeah.
things we're talking about is sort of modding the game, and we're gonna
But it might
play.
be fun to maybe one night have a one shot where we have completely new characters that are made with the mod rules, just to kind
And
of see how it works.
We're also
Yes.
going to see how the game plays. If after a couple sessions, we decide as a group to sort of make some changes, we can make changes midstream. I mean, it's only going to be the 4 of us and all the people of the internet. So it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Also agrees with deconstructing the traditional system before building
Yeah.
something new.
Yeah, so I think we'll start with that, and if it becomes an issue as we're playing, we can address it during the gameplay and make adjustments along the way.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think-
this opens up next
Should
week. What are we playing next Thursday? Are we going to play Neverwinter?
We can discuss that. I'm still
Yeah.
down.
I was wondering when we were going to do that. I need to like update it and actually make a character because I still haven't done that yet. But I heard that Tom's like level 30 already.
It really didn't take that much time.
Oh, okay. That's good to know, though.
Yeah.
I'm still at level
I
7,
think
so
like I played a bunch on like Friday and Saturday and a couple of nights this week. And I think I'm at 26 or 27, something like that. Like
Oh,
it's
wow,
not.
okay.
It really didn't. It didn't take as much time as I thought it would.
All right.
okay, I'm gonna get level 7. So yeah, Neverwinter is a Dungeons and Dragons free-to-play MMO massively multiplayer online role-playing game. And you've been watching, and I know you have been, the previous
Don't be
series.
creepy.
No, that's my sarcastic way of saying nobody. No, that's me passive aggressively going. Nobody watches it. I'm just out there doing it
Oh.
myself. And I had
Love
really
us.
poor me. And I was dropping all those knowledge bombs on Pool of Radiance. But yeah,
Oh shit! Sweet.
so we can play. So
How
all
the
three.
heck is the
And the cool
hilarious?
thing with that is that we can all three of us can play, instead of just
Yeah.
watching me play and just heckling from the sides. So
Oh yeah,
Um,
there will be heckling.
Elder Scrolls Online, I think, is on sale on Steam right now.
ooh.
Do
I might.
it.
Now if you
Should I
get
do
that,
it?
we can play that instead. It's not D&D themed, but it's a better game.
I mean,
Well, but it is based off of D&D, though.
It's
I mean, they all
basically
are.
D&D.
Same tropes, yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, and if we could get
same
into
trope, different name.
if we get into the servers, we could all try to jump into World of Warcraft. We'll save that for down the road.
I
Nope.
don't really want to play World of Warcraft.
All
No
right,
interest.
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, I mean,
Alright.
one of the reasons I like Elder Scrolls is because of the backstory. Like,
I gotta figure out if my computer can actually run it. Also,
it's a big fucking game, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
Can I run it? There's
Yeah.
there's a few websites that you can Google up. Can I run this? And you'll be able to
Okay.
test those. I've had to use that a lot. So so next Thursday, September. Oh my God, it'll be September.
I know. Where did the year go?
September 5th, 8 p.m. over on our Twitch channel. You can watch the three of us. Amma will be on assignment. So Amma, are you? Yeah, you're still in Australia.
She's gonna be in Australia, yeah.
So good day, and
Gonna put some Barbies on the grill.
yes,
that's not. Nope.
have
Shrimp on the Barbie.
Shrimps on the Barbie.
Have
There
a
we go. 'Cause
Vegemite.
Otherwise, you're just melting plastic on grill.
I don't see a problem.
have a Vegemite sandwich.
Not delicious.
Vegemite's actually not bad.
So I don't think she's appreciating our humor.
Give me a Vegemite sandwich.
That's a good song.
It is a good song.
Is that no to the Vegemite or no to the song or
No to our
I
bad
don't-
Australian.
all? No to all.
No to
No to
all of the above. Oh, so as we're doing
It's not that bad.
logos, do we want to have a theme song or some sort of special introduction? Someone I know is going to be watching this on the replay, Tristan, reached out to me and said he might want to help, help in some small ways with us, some sort of voiceovers or maybe an NPC or something small like that. With that, but if maybe I could get him to be, do his little fancy,
Is he gonna wake up at like the crack of dawn to come play with us? Because he's actually a hoot. So
No, hopefully at some point, but to maybe just record like an opening in his like overly dramatic voice way that only he can do,
it's creepy.
and that
The
could be the thing we run as the beginning, and sort of like the intro to the song.
Ba-da-ba.
No, I can't. I cannot run Elder Scrolls Online.
Aw.
So yeah, we'll save the
I-
theme
but-
song until we
okay.
start getting ad sponsors, and we'll start
Mhm.
singing their themes. We'll do a Sam Riegel and start singing every
We're gonna
week.
sing their jingles.
Sing a jingle or make
Yeah.
up jingles every week. Once we get sponsors. I guess we shouldn't have told them that before we get sponsors, because then they'll probably all go away now.
I don't know.
We have no sponsors. Are
His
you
bits are
happy
pretty
with it?
funny. Also, we are not Sam Riegel.
Sam Riegel.
Who is
Critical
from
Role. You
Virginia?
need-
Isn't he from DC?
He's from Virginia, yes. He was born in Virginia,
Yeah.
but grew up, I think, spent
Went to
some time
UVA.
up in New York.
Oh, cool.
I think he went to UVA.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because
Um,
he's also he's a Washington fan.
Yeah. So, also might be good is some artwork
Oh.
for like the characters and maybe some theme stuff. I know Amma does some art, but I'm also trying not to put
Honestly,
too.
Alma already did some.
I know, but I'm also trying not to put too much on
Soup.
her. Okay, she's got enough going
Soup,
on.
are you here? Soup.
And
Where'd you go? I can't.
Alma, make that T-shirt for real. You put it out on Twitter. I think it's a good idea. You should definitely do it.
but
I
maybe
think that would be a great t-shirt.
It was a really
But
cool
yeah.
T-shirt.
So
Yeah.
anyone else who might be artistic, both on the staff or within our community, can we call you our
Did you say on
community?
the staff?
Well, I mean,
All 5 of
sorry,
them.
our
I was called art.
comrades among this collective. I'm sorry, I need to get our term.
Mm.
I need to stay consistent with our. Thank you for. I need to stay consistent with my terminology. Comrades among this collective.
Wait, what?
We are an art collective. Archaeorpg is an art collective. I'm gonna burn
We're
some.
in a commune. Are we
Do you know what an art collective is?
We all do our own thing,
Yeah.
and we pretend to like support each other, and then we backstab each other later, and then someone's going to sleep with someone's boyfriend, and then it's all going to get ugly. Oh, you do?
Do I have to sleep with the boyfriend?
We don't have to.
Wait,
Or?
I guess if you guys want to sleep with my partner, I guess, but he doesn't swing that way.
I don't think either. I don't.
Also, this is an
It
open
would be
invitation.
awkward
I'm all set.
saying.
Also, it
Also,
might upset
once we
others.
do start our campaign
Did you just
season,
say-
the community is more than welcome to start their fan fiction community. You know, sort of do some AUs with Tomog and Mascot. Is
No.
I'm encouraging that. Tomog and
Stop that.
and
They, gotta know who
Mascot.
these, they have to know who these characters
Oh,
are.
they will. They
There
will.
be no mascot slash. Period. End of discussion.
Wait,
This is
did you just say
unnegotiable.
slash? I thought we were talking about fan art. What are we talking about?
I know.
He said
I said fan fiction.
No.
Fiction. For those who want to relive the experiences. I don't know where you. Yes. Okay.
What?
I mean, if the community wants to go
Nope.
there,
Nope.
who are we
No,
to deny our
let's not do
community?
Gross.
Tumblr's coming back.
Don't want to
Maybe.
yum, but also no thanks. That's my.
We'll have to set up the
Intellectual
official
property that
Archeo RPG Hot Tunes account.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know where all that stuff's hiding nowadays. After Tumblr went away, I don't know where the stuff's hiding. I know.
Hopefully gone forever. No, maybe not.
Ever
I don't
and
know.
ever and ever.
Do we need it though?
Tumblr?
No, that part of Tumblr.
It's
I think,
part
is
of
what we're-
community building, you know?
What is? Flashfic?
Look, guys, you don't get to
think so.
pick your fans. That's how this works.
That's
I know.
fair.
I hate to break this to you in a really hard way, but you don't get to pick your fans.
But I've been watching enough Twitter. It's the
I've
folks
been
who are
watching enough Twitter.
been watching enough Twitter to know. Market research shows me that those who are engaged in those sort of communities are going to be your most loyal fans. They're
This
the
is
ones.
true.
They're the ones
Yeah,
who are going to
that's
do
true.
that. They're the ones who are going to start the hashtag Save Tomog when I kill you in episode 55. Spoilers.
Hold on. We're gonna get to 55?
Well, everything
He's
else,
already
all
got
the
this
other
planned
random,
out.
all the other random numbers I put out seemed like way too soon. So I tried to throw this one out a little further.
I was gonna say you gotta build a fan base first, so I guess yeah, 55.
By
seems pretty
55,
We have
the save
five
home.
people that like us, okay?
reasonable. Yeah, 5 people are watching us currently.
We have Lucas.
At
I
least 2 of them
think
is probably
actually-
us.
Every
I
one
don't
of these.
think anybody actually knows Lucas personally, do they? I mean, we will eventually, but
We will eventually. Hey, I will have you know
I
a
know.
little behind the scenes stuff here. Every one of our videos gets at least 20 views, and our podcast, which is available on Anchor, Google Play, and the Apple Podcast
And
Store,
Spotify.
and Spotify, we have an audience of about 20 on our
Whoa.
podcast right now. So we are blowing up.
honestly, I mean,
Somebody is actually listening to this.
I was
You
gonna say
want-
that's not bad for a brand new podcast, like brand fucking new, no build up to it whatsoever.
We are.
You know,
You want to say you were there? I was there when they
Yeah.
when they couldn't even make a
Before it
damn
was cool.
video that stayed on the air without crashing for 20 minutes. I was
We've
there.
been doing pretty good so far.
I was there when they couldn't
there.
get. I was there when they couldn't get their mic levels right to save their lives.
I was there when our screen names weren't typed out right.
Yeah, you want to,
Sure.
you know, when we start archaeorpg con in 5 years, you want to be those, like, you know, really snobby ones who, like, are laying down the deep trivia of archaeorpg.
I was there before they had a format.
You're going to be that annoying person. I want you to be that annoying person that when I go to the con 5 years from now, you come up to me asking me, why, how come you never put together that Boba Fett puzzle behind you for the first 6 episodes of the show? And I'm going to look at you like, what the hell are you talking about? Because I don't remember that. I don't remember what you're talking about. No, the Boba Fett. There's a box. There's a model of Boba Fett behind me that I haven't put together.
Well, now we know.
See, I'm talking about the super fans. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
That's a level of
if you
super
take it out of
fan.
the box, it loses value.
Because it'll be in pieces.
Hey!
It's in pieces, alright? I need 2 functioning hands to do that. I'm working on that.
That's important. Whoa!
Everybody send your love to Archaeo Thoughts.
Yeah.
Hugs, Bill.
So, I think that's it. Is there anything else with your characters? Or D&D in general? Or with anything else?
How much?
Yes, please watch the rewatch later, and we're going to put it on the podcast, so there'll be plenty of ways to catch up, Kara. But thank you for coming in.
Hi, Kara. How much backstory do we want to give away beforehand in
11
our
pages.
read? I can't write that much.
Now, that being said,
it's just not going to happen. I'm just going to tell you right now.
It's just not going to happen. You
I'm
can write a
here.
site report, but you can't write 11 pages of backstory.
Well, sure. Half of it's boilerplate, and the rest of it's just data.
I mean, all you got to do is find a good one, change the name, and submit it.
So that being said, your homework assignment, and hopefully you're still here listening, is you should send me through, like, direct message, a direct path, at least a paragraph, if not a page, of sort of background, what your character's been doing, since
Jesus Christ, you are not giving me
Founderin,
More homework.
some other type of things. Oh, Sarah, I'm looking at you the most, Miss. I have a patron and I have somebody else. Come on, we got to work with that. We need something. We need to go.
Grad school.
We need to take that someplace. Take I don't have them with me. Get some story blocks and throw them down. Character background generator. It exists online. Google background generator, and you can come up with a background for your character. Just some.
You're not gonna don't know how to write. I've insulted now. Now you're getting it.
Now it's gonna be 11 pages.
But there's something to work with.
Double space and 15 font, but that's besides the point.
So that we can
bitch,
start,
we're freaking that down to 10.
so that we can start weaving in some of the. So in addition to whatever the printed story is and however you guys take it, also bring in some of the personal stories of your characters into this, so that everyone can have a journey. You know, you're not static. You're all characters. You know, I'm gonna pull out my Joseph Campbell's Hero of a Thousand Faces soon, and we're gonna go on the hero's journey, all of you together.
I need to get that book.
It's a good book.
It's a good book. I have it
I inherited
downstairs.
a copy.
I have it downstairs. So backstories. So you don't have to give out backstories too much, but give me some backstory so we can start. I can start putting it out there. That way, then I know when to throw an NPC who's also tied to your backstory.
Okay.
So that you could be like,
Okay, so
I'm
make
talking
sure
to
there's
Rando.
there's no NPCs for backstory. Gotcha.
I've got at least a couple of opportunities in what I've already got put together in my head, so I think we're good.
You know, you did play
Pretty
enough with the
easy.
previous game that I can make up stuff for you guys if you don't give me anything.
Yeah, that's true. I'm thinking we didn't really get into backstories that much in game though.
We really didn't. Like, I don't know.
Like
It's
you're gonna be
completely fair, because I
hunted.
really don't know anything about the character. Like, I built it just to see how it would play, and it probably is time to commit.
Like Tomog is going to be hunted by a gnome fighter
Why left it though?
Because you left him.
He wasn't. Did we though?
Did we leave him? We didn't leave him. He
I
left
thought
us.
he bailed.
Yeah.
I don't remember how we rectified that in game.
And Sarah, you're going to be like going insane because around every corner you think you're going to see a half-elf cleric.
But she and I were friends.
I know.
I
Yeah.
bought her
So you're
crackers.
going to see her everywhere, and it's not going to be her.
It's gonna look like them from behind, and they're gonna turn around. And you're like, ah.
I'm constantly going to be that person who's like, hey!
Oh, ooh.
No, the person behind you.
And
Uh-huh.
oh,
Didn't Alma come in with a character? What happened
she
to
did
that
come with a character. That's Nicole, and she's trying to do the grad school thing too. And I'll go back and figure out something that Nicole, some idiosyncrasy of Nicole's, so that there's a wizard somehow haunting Amma in some way, shape, or form.
Who lit the town on fire?
That would be the wizard, with a little help.
There you go.
With a little help from somebody.
From my friends. Alma. Technically,
Technically,
I set the dead body on fire. Technically.
See, once again,
What
critical role
happened to
in
the
jokes that
fire
Sarah doesn't get.
After I set the body on fire.
Yeah.
That's outside of my control.
And that's the other thing, got to wrap it up because in 5 minutes, Critical Role is doing their special one-shot, which is the wedding of Percival and Voxala from Campaign 1.
Vexalia.
Vexalia.
Yeah.
Nerds!
Anyway. All right.
I feel like it's principle now that I'm not ever going to watch Critical Role or listen to it.
So we will have to do nothing but Critical Role in jokes all the time. And that will be the
We'll pick up on it.
and that will be the passive-aggressive war we play.
I'll just make Night Vale references there. Suffer.
Yeah.
But I love Cecil. Cecil's my fave. All hail the Glow Cloud.
Hail the Glow Cloud.
I had to stop listening to Night Vale on my drives home because his voice was too soothing.
Oh no, he is very soothing.
Yes.
It's terrible, it's like terrifying content, but his voice is just so like mellow.
I just love how happy he is about it all. It's just nothing ever faces him.
He's the most lovable. All right. So anyway, let's wrap things up. Let's say goodbye, people.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So,
Bye, internet friends.
So we'll be back here on YouTube in 2 weeks with Amma. She'll be back for the next episode of Still Digging in 2 weeks because that will be September.
Didn't she say she was going to be in Australia?
No,
that's next week.
By September 12th.
Oh, that's right.
By September 12th, which is the next episode of Still Digging in 2 weeks here on YouTube, Amma will be back for that. But for those of us who want to see us next week, that is the 5th, next Thursday, over on our Twitch channel. Same bad time, same bad channel, well, different bad channel. We will be playing, I guess we're playing Neverwinter. Gosh.
Not my fault.
Hey, man.
Well, this is my fault, but that's besides the point.
That's okay.
Well, Lucas, when you can ask questions, we were here to answer them. No pressure. But yes, so next week, Twitch, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We are playing Neverwinter. It's Dungeons and Dragons. We're gonna do stupid stuff together. Woo! So, for all those in the U.S., have a safe and happy Labor Day. For all those in the UK, I'm sorry. I feel for you.
I'm going to a Ren fair.
And for those of you in other parts of the world, bye.
Bye.
I don't really have anything cool to say to you guys, but thanks for showing up.
Oh yeah, and keep digging.
I'm gonna laugh every time.
Bye.